Whoops. Hello. How we doing, guys? Hope you all are doing well. Happy New Year. New Year. Somewhat new look to the show, I guess. I don't know. Not really. Same old me, I guess. Feel like it's slightly darker in here. I'm trying to adjust my lighting a little bit, but I don't know. It's always a bit more whited out than I anticipate or hope. But only because my webcam for my laptop is kind of old, so that can't be helped too much. Who we got in here so far? We got... Oh, hey, Ruth. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I had a good Christmas and a good New Year. I really did. Yeah, 2023, you guys. Can you believe it? Hey, Laura. Oh, yeah, I had a fantastic weekend. I'll tell you guys about it in a bit. Hey, Shakira. Hope you're doing well. And yeah, GH is preempted since New Year's fell on a Sunday. They're giving us the Monday off for GH too. So Tuesday will be new GH. But that's all good. 'Tis the holiday season, so it's all good. I wish I could check out the Lizzie Borden house. I'd love to meet Krampus. Who else? Hey, Sandy. Happy New Year to you, too. Hey, Edmund. Contradicting shirts. Yeah. I like to be a bit contradicting. I figure, you know, New Year's Day, I gotta bring some sparkle to the show, but, you know, also bring my sort of plaid to it, which is very me. I'm all over the place typically, so it is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah, only 4 episodes of GH this week, Kaiwan. Oh, man. Alright, but how y'all doing? Did you guys have good New Year's, I hope? For me, I went to a place called Rocky Mountain Ice House, which is a bar. And my friends were playing a show there. My friends, El Niven and the Alibi. All amazing musicians in that band, all friends of mine, so it was great to see them. And I always love watching them perform. My friend Elliot is the singer, my friend Ryan is the bass player, my friend Jeff is the drummer. And they're all good people, really talented musicians. And I actually last New Year, I spent with them as well, but it was a bit crazier because we had restrictions still, and we had to, I mean, bars weren't allowed to be open past 11, they weren't allowed to serve past 10, so we kind of had to you know, do our countdown early and like call it. So I figured it only makes sense to see them again and bring in New Year's the right way. And it was quite lovely. I got to meet Elliot's wife, which was really nice. And, you know, just be with people that I care about. And drank a bit. I didn't get too drunk, though. We went for donaires after, so it was nice. Ruth, glad you had a good night. Oh, you don't celebrate Kaiwan? That's all good. Thankful for another year by Most High. Indeed. Oh, you were sick yesterday? I'm sorry. Oh, man. But yeah, at the time, we still had restrictions in Alberta. Well, actually, we hadn't had them for a bit. And then COVID cases were kind of majorly on the rise. During the holiday season that last year, and so yeah, they closed things early. They had, I mean, the rules were a bit silly because like people could still gather, but like you couldn't dance. You had to stay at your tables. And I think there were capacity limits as well. But thankfully, since I knew the band, I was part of that capacity in that bar that night. But yeah, but this year it was, fully open. It wasn't a big crowd regardless, which is fine. I don't really like big crowds to begin with. That predates COVID. Just I don't like being squished in like sardines at a party. I'd rather be have the space to dance and have a good time and not feel stuck in position. Because I like to film my friends perform as well, and I do that for my music and YEG stuff. Oh man. But yeah. Welcome guys to the first episode of General Hospital After Show of 2023. Can you believe it? There's so much to talk about today as well. A lot of this week had to do with Britt's sort of final send-off. We're still gonna see her next week, but a lot of the story had to do with her party, or at least tied in some sort of way because people were gathering in there. But if y'all are ready to begin, so am I. I've got my notes all propped up. If you watch Restless, Bold and Beautiful and Days of Our Lives, they'll be on tomorrow with a new episode. Interesting. I wonder why ABC opted out. No matter. It is what it is. I'm okay with one extra day off from GH. We're all still recovering from the season. Cool. Alright, well, let's get her started. What's up, everybody? Welcome to General Hospital MV, my GH After Show. Happy New Year, everyone. Let's talk about how 2022 wrapped up in Port Charles. This week, Heather Weber proved that she's just as intelligent as she is crazy when she tries to make a deal with Robert and Max Scorpio, and Robert is actually considering it. Heather was back at GH getting a final checkup to clear her to go back to Steinmauer, and naturally, Heather ain't ready to go because she wants to be around her old lover, Ryan Chamberlain. So she tells Dante that she wants to offer the PCPD something to help them catch the hook killer. The Scorpio brothers had made note that Heather had built a bit of a rapport with Ryan Chamberlain since she was brought to the less secure facility that I forget the name of. And Heather basically says, why not use that to your advantage? If anyone knows where Esme is, it's Ryan. He likes me. I'll have him eating out of my hand in no time. Little do they know just how close Heather and Ryan were once upon a time, seeing as they share a daughter, specifically Esme. But yeah, we don't know if the Scorpios are actually going to agree to this plan, but I have a feeling they will. I gotta admit, I like that Heather has a bit of an angle, and that it's just really that she just wants to figure out where Esme is at this point because she's nervous. Ryan hasn't seen Esme in weeks and doesn't know where she is. All he knows is that she had to take care of business at Windermere and hasn't been back. And truly, she just wants to track her down. And honestly, at this point, the PCPD do need her help because they're absolutely useless. They haven't found anything to do with the hook killer yet. Oh, American football. Yeah, I'm not really into sports either. Oh, Happy New Year, Damien. Still don't know who the hook killer is. Yeah, I'm sure we'll find out, soon, eventually. It's just interesting, there seems to be a bit of back and forth on whether people actually think Esme is the hook killer or not. I mean, we know as the audience, and obviously Nicholas and Elizabeth know because Esme is at Windermere and was at Windermere when someone else got attacked. But everyone is trying to track Esme down regardless, which it just makes me mad because two of them is Trina and Spencer, and they've both been on record saying that they don't think that it's Esme, or Ava told Trina that it likely isn't Esme anymore, And Spencer never believed it was Esme in the first place unless it was for show. But yeah, I mean, basically Trina and Spencer, they're enacting a plan to try to lure Esme out, or the hook killer out, thinking that it's Esme. They did kind of go back and forth on, and bring up the fact that it might not be her, but they believe it's her regardless, because, like, who else? It's just so confusing. The back and forth of it all. Anyway, Trina and Spencer have been sticking close to each other, putting forth their plan to attempt to lure Esme out. They posed for pictures for the invader together after Rory's off-screen funeral, which of course Curtis, Marshall, and even Laura were all pretty confused about, seeing them so close out of nowhere all of a sudden. Then Spencer runs into Trina and Ava at Kelly's, where he has a one-on-one conversation with Ava, apologizing for everything he did to her in the name of a man who let them both down, aka his father, Nicholas. And then he told her that he would be escorting Trina to Britt's birthday party, the New Year's party at the Haunted Star, where their goal was to be seen in public all cozy together, except they spent the brink of the party outside on the deck away from literally everyone. It's a good thing the hook killer just happened to be there for whatever reason and almost attacked them before Maxie demanded they come inside to be with Britt. We'll talk more about Britt's birthday a little later on, and what the hook killer got up to once Sabrina left to go into the boat. But let's get some other stuff out of the way first. Spencers are the Valents of the salt world. All right, let's talk about Laura and Martin and Cyrus, because those are really interesting scenes to me. We got to see Laura and Martin, who I guess has already been rescued from the grasp of the WSB, which is odd, but don't worry, even Martin pointed out that it seemed too easy. But yeah, the two of them reunite with their jailbird brother Cyrus in Pentonville. He greets them both and puts on his little man of God act as usual, and talks about Spencer's release and how it'll look like the mayor pulled strings for her grandson. But Laura points out that she had nothing to do with the release. Cyrus mentions that he's aware that Spencer left with Victor, but says the way Victor was able to get into Pentonville with the prisoners was a connection to her, Eileen, the mayor's aide, of course. Who he announces is under Victor's thumb, but then he quickly realizes that Laura is already aware of it and is trying to use that to her advantage. Oh, Sandy, you're liking Cyrus? The new Cyrus? He's hilarious. Yeah, I'm like, I truly can't figure this guy out. Like, part of me thinks that Cyrus kind of wants his family to love him, but also to accept his shadiness as long as he's using it to help them. But who knows? Cyrus was a pretty nasty guy in the first place. He didn't even seem remorseful in, like, the final standoff before he got arrested. And also, like, since he's been in jail, before he found God, I guess, he was trying to tank Laura's political career as well. So, I don't know. Like, I don't trust that Cyrus is just trying to be a family man. Like, he is truly, like, assisting, in the best way possible. He tried to get Spencer away from Victor. He knows Victor is a bad apple. But it's not to say that he's not also working some other kind of secret agenda in the meantime. If they're in favor for Cyrus, he could use that to his advantage when he gets out. Because I'm sure he will at some point. Cyrus is desperate for acceptance. Yeah, but he was also desperate for acceptance even back then. That was kind of essentially what the backstory of Cyrus was, because everyone neglected him, including his mother, and then, he basically held her hostage for years. But back to it. Where was I? I gotta look back at my notes again. So Cyrus basically wants to offer his help and his connections to help take Victor down, in the name of family, of course. Cyrus points out how dangerous Victor is, and he knows that she wants to bring him down, if only to get vengeance for Luke. And I think she's actually starting to consider it, because she's getting desperate. Victor has his clutches on Spencer. Part part of what I love the most about Jeannie Francis, you guys, is that the way she acts, she can say so much with just her eyes. And so when Cyrus was kind of like bringing up Luke, you could tell, like, she's like, man, like, I need help, like, all the help I can get, but, like, can I really do this? Like, that was the vibe that I got when she was kind of giving Cyrus that look. And she storms off after that and doesn't really say anything to him. Give Cyrus a daughter. Oh, man. I mean, Cyrus could have a kid out there for all we know. But there's no point in bringing her up until he gets out of jail. And I do think that he will one day. They can't keep him in there forever. Especially because he has been on, like, pretty often considering he's in jail. But yeah, Laura's getting desperate. She knows how dangerous Victor is, and she later pays Nicholas a visit to try and get him to give her any information he can on Victor. And she's not happy that Spencer is in Victor's custody till his sentence is finished, and gets even more upset that there is even more friction between Nicholas and Spencer. And he tells her how Spencer found out that he had an affair, and naturally Laura's like, why would Spencer be mad about that? He doesn't even like Ava. And then when Elizabeth appears, because she just happened to be checking in on Esme when Laura was at Windermere, she puts two and two together and realizes that the affair was between him and Elizabeth. And she was disappointed. Turns out she was never a fan of Niz to begin with, even back in the day. She says that they should have left that in the past. And that Elizabeth was vulnerable, and that's not fair. That reminds me. Earlier, Victor was there when Spencer left the house again, and he told Victor that Elizabeth lost the baby. And naturally, Victor was so disappointed because there's no longer a Cassadine heir in the works, as far as he knows anyway, because as you know, Esme is pregnant. Laura needs to listen to Cyrus about Victor. Yeah, I agree. Like, here's the thing. Laura already has mob connections. She's like besties with Sonny, okay? And Laura has always been known to color out the lines a little bit, you know? Whether it was back in the 80s with Luke, or in the 90s with Luke, or even, post 2000 and beyond. She's always colored outside the lines. And especially a lot since she's returned. Earlier, Victor was there when Spencer left the house. Yeah. But anyway, what was I gonna say? Where was I? Okay, so yeah. Nicholas advises Laura not to go after Victor because if she brings him down, he will go down with Victor. And Laura goes into Mama Bear mode, which is why I love the character so goddamn much. She's so strong and unafraid, and she basically tells Nicholas to man up and fight to take back his life, and she will help him do it. And he says that he'll think about it. This is purely speculation, but judging by the actor's status with the show, something tells me he's going to try to bring or get back his own life, and it ain't going to end well. I'm not saying that he's going to die, but perhaps the character might go into some kind of hiatus for a little bit until they get a new actor to play him. And we know that Victor loves holding people hostage, so I don't think that Nicholas is going anywhere, for long. I don't think he's dying anyway. Wonder if Spencer will be the head of Windermere. I haven't heard of a recast of Nick since the actor was fired. Yeah, but they could be keeping that under wraps because, people are really upset of Marcus's firing. I wish we knew the details as to why. I do, we talked about this last week. I do hope that secretly they're bringing Tyler Christopher back, that he's ready to get back into the role. It's not the first time that they've ushered an actor out in order for a reprise to come. The same thing happened when Jonathan Jackson wanted to come back as Lucky, and they practically shoved Greg Vaughn out the door. The only difference was they didn't tell Greg until he shot his final scenes, and they told Marcus just before. So it didn't end well. It didn't end prettily. But yeah, okay, alright, let's move on though. Let's talk about Esme. First, Nicholas has to figure out his other problem. So, his pregnant prisoner Esme, she devises a plan to make her great escape. Nicholas's muscle, Demetrius, has been putty in Esme's hand for weeks now. And she convinces him to feel sorry enough for her to have a candlelit dinner inside her room with her. And he basically, brings the candle in, has the dinner with her, and leaves. And Esme managed to sneak a match away from him at some point. And basically her plan was to light the room on fire and hope it gets Nicholas's attention enough for her to sneak away in all the smoke. And she does exactly that, but goes to the parapet for air first. And Nicholas had put out the fire pretty quickly, and he caught up to Esme on the parapet. And she makes the bold decision to get up onto the sort of, I don't even know what you call it, the ledge of the parapet, and takes a swan dive because she was like, I've survived it before, I can survive it again. And she just dives and splits. Happy New Year. Like, what a crazy, honestly, I didn't see that coming. I thought that she was just going to manipulate Nicholas to like feel sorry for her and give her more freedom or something, but she literally just dove into the river again. I'm shook, you guys. Interview with a Pier 54 podcast? What do you mean? I've heard of that podcast. I haven't listened to it, but like, did something happen did they interview him and he said something that he shouldn't have? Let me know. I would love to see Spencer and Trina, King and Queen of Windermere. Oh man, can you imagine? And then I hope like Gia comes back for that. I want Gia's reaction to like Gia's reaction to Spencer and Trina. It can't be. It's not. I feel like she's gonna be like, "You're in danger, girl. Get away." All right, let's move on though. Let's talk about Sunny and Dex. I think that's what happened. But like, what did he say in the interview that would get him fired? That's what I'm wondering. Anyway, yeah, let's talk about the latest set of mob dealings in Port Charles. Sunny has his meeting with the seemingly shady Pikeman security team, who Dex actually genuinely seems terrified of, and seems to know just how shady the team is due to his time in the military, supposedly, where he's dealt with groups like him, or like Pikemen, including Pikemen probably, before. And I can't really tell if he's worried for Sunny's well-being or his own. The guy that they met with, whose name is Roman, in my opinion, like, this is purely speculation on my part. I don't read spoilers, guys, okay? But the guy that plays Roman looks a little bit like Dex. So now I'm wondering if he's his father. Like, I don't know. I really don't know. That'd be interesting. Then he'd be like playing against three people, or kind of being in the know of three people and working for them, probably against each other. But yeah, Dex actually tells Michael what the Pikeman security group is about, which evidently is dealing with weapons, which Sunny has always said he's against, which makes Sunny even more recognizable to Michael. So he's ready to take Sunny down for doing this extremely illegal thing, which definitely tops his 30-year stunt as mobster he's overlooked in the past. But now he just can't, due to the most recent time that Sunny cheated on Carly and threw family harmony away in the name of a new woman, which he's done like 86 other times. But this time was the final straw. I can't. Michael's vengeance against Sunny is so ridiculous at this point. Even Carly doesn't care anymore. She's with someone else. Like, let it go. No, Sonny has always been against selling weapons. He's stated that several times. The only thing that, like, because he's always said he's against selling weapons and drugs, which has always been kind of the joke in Port Charles. Like, what does he actually like? Like, what does he ship illegally? And the only thing I can think of is contraband. But no, it's common knowledge that Sonny is against shipping guns. Sorry, I'm looking through my notes. All right, let's talk about some of the other stories that are going on. Some of the smaller stories. We'll kind of speed run them, and then we'll get right into Britt's birthday, because I think that's what everyone's kind of wanting to talk about tonight anyway. But to finish off with Michael a little bit, Michael and Willow are trying to make the most of a potentially dire situation and act like she'll still be around next year. But her sickness is starting to get in the way, of her time with Wiley. And it's upsetting Wiley, and as well as Willow. And she's pale and she's not doing so well. And later in the week, Michael decides to propose to her. I don't know. Is it bad that I don't like? I wouldn't hate it if Willow passed away, because then Michael would be pissed off at both of his parents. Then he could just be rid of them for once and for all, and then Michael can just leave Port Charles for good, because he just doesn't have luck with women in Port Charles. They either die or they just leave him. Also, Carly's still lying to Drew and hiding information to try and prevent him from discovering the truth about Willow's birth parents. Good thing Drew is determined, since he knows that Willow is literally dying and is in desperate need of a bone marrow transplant, which would be best from a relative. But, you know, that's just... It's all gonna backfire, and he's gonna dump Carly. It's gonna be a mess. I don't know if I'm here for it. Like... I think they should have kept Never live. What do you mean? I don't understand. But anyway, what other stories? Okay, Sasha. Let's talk about Sasha, Michael's ex, who has been coping surprisingly well with all the trauma that she's experienced over the last, 2 years. And it doesn't seem to be drug-induced support either. And she is about to regret all the praise that she's been giving Gladys lately, because it seems Gladys has developed a gambling problem, much like her cousin Mike, and she owes Selena Wu big time, and Selena's ready to collect. Sasha had gifted Gladys to some diamond earrings, and she actually gave those to Selena as a deposit. And then saying that she would pay off the rest. And it seems like they are considering, or she is considering, using Sasha's money to pay off the debt. And that's probably going to get Sasha into a lot more trouble. And the last thing that Sasha needs at this point is more trouble. Ruth, you said I would be very sad if Willow passes away. Don't you think Michael has lost enough women in his lifetime? Why lose Willow? That's stupid. Because Michael doesn't deserve anyone. He's like a snobby piece of crap. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. I cannot stand Michael. I can't, ever since, Chad Doyle took over the role, I don't like him. He's snobby and entitled, and all the women he's ever dated deserve so much better than him to begin with. And I've always thought that, no matter who he's dated. Kiki, Star, what was her name? The one that died under a crane. Abby, Sabrina, all of them. Sasha deserved better too. She survived, thank God. But and Sasha did find better, and then her partner died. Drew cares more about Willow dying than she does. Right? Hey Nathan, Happy New Year. It's all good. Glad you're here. Oh, Damien, you preferred the temporary Michael? He was okay. Like, I didn't hate him. I think, but listen, I'm biased on that. Like, I dislike how Chad has been written as Michael consistently the whole time. So, for me, like, anyone would probably be, like, better. But, truthfully, I miss Drew Garrett. I think that he was not only written better when Drew was in the role, and I think that had he continued playing him, they would have not taken him, Michael, in the direction that they did, because I think that, and we've talked about this in past live streams, there are certain recasts that the writers will kind of play up to the actor's strengths, and Chad's one of them. I don't think Chad could pull off bad boy Michael. Nell Benson. Oh. No. I mean, I want Nell to return at some point just to wreak more havoc, but Michael wouldn't be with her. Not after everything that they went through. Yeah, I adored Drew Garrett's portrayal of Michael. I miss him so much, and he glowed up. He's gorgeous now. Like, he looks like leading man material, and Chad's just like, God bless him. He looks so nerdy. Like, you know, like, that's not his fault or anything. That's just how he looks. But, you know, I like, Michael should be a bad boy. Like, AJ and Carly are his parents, and instead he's just like a pompous asshole. Yeah, like, AJ and Carly were his parents, and Sonny raised him. Like, by all accords, this guy should be a hot mess, and we should be enjoying the hot mess that is Michael Corinthos. But he just, like, snubs everyone. I don't know. He just sticks his nose in the air and acts like he's better than everyone. Nathan, you said when Ron C brought AJ back and then killed him off, Chadwell could have pulled off badass Michael, but too bad it was all wasted. Yeah, like, that was the only story where, like, he where I kind of liked Chad as Michael, but A, it didn't last very long, and B, it's still not, like, it showed that Michael could be ruthless, but it still wouldn't have, like, it's still not the same as, like, what Drew's Michael used to be, you know what I mean? I think that when Brian Craig became Morgan, he inherited all of Drew Garrett's traits of the old Michael. And really, like, it should have been the opposite. Like, Morgan should be, like, the decent and not so messed up one, because he spent most of his childhood raised by Jackson Carly. And also, you know, he was away from the family for a long time in military school. Like, by all accords, he should have been the clean-cut, good son, and Michael should have been the mess. And they made it the opposite for whatever reason. It just, and I loved Brian Craig. I think that he did a good job as Morgan, but truthfully, I think if the characters were written consistently, Morgan should have stayed the good kid, and Michael should have been the hot mess. Kellen, I'm really confused. I don't know if you're using text to talk, but who are you referring to as being a DJ? Let's see. Where was I? Oh, okay, we kind of got off topic a little bit. So going back to Gladys for a second, I'm disappointed that they're going this route with Gladys, but not as disappointed as I would have been if it just kind of, like, if they just trashed her character by, like, having her just be shady, like, and just, like, controlling Sasha. You know what I mean? Like, that was my main nervousness with the guardianship storyline, or the conservatorship. Um, but like they're tying Gladys's sort of gambling addiction into what she's gonna do with Sasha's money. So it softens the blow a little bit because, you know, addiction, and it's not because her character's doing a 180. It makes sense that, you know, that she could have a gambling addiction. Mike had a gambling addiction, so it runs in the family. I just don't want Sasha to be put through more. The girl has been through enough, y'all. Truly. Michael didn't have it as tough as AJ. Like, you're right. He didn't. But, like... But the thing is, like, he grew up, like, in Sonny's world. He always wanted to follow in Sonny's footsteps. And he tried. And he tried to, like, get in the mob. And yes, Sonny always refused. But Michael would have... I feel like if Drew stayed in the role, Michael would still constantly be trying to be in the mob. And, like, I think... Like I said, I think that Brian Craig inherited what Michael's character should have been. Because even Morgan was trying to work with Julian Jerome and Duke, right? So, you know, that's what I figure the direction would have been for Michael had Drew stayed in the role. And Morgan probably would have been played by someone who's a bit more clean cut. Depending on who the writers were. Do y'all think Britt is gonna get killed off Tuesday? I believe Dex is gonna rescue Joss. Actually, I have that next in my notes. We'll discuss that in a sec here. Oh man. But yeah, okay. Let's just get into it right now. Jocelyn was finally ready to go and break up with Cam at Kelly's on New Year's Eve, but finds Dante and Sam having dessert instead, because Cam is doing a delivery somewhere or something, doing catering. And Joss takes the time to basically trash talk Sonny, somewhat mildly diss Dante, and announce that she's becoming a doctor all in one go. Apparently, since she couldn't find Cam, she's going to go to Britt's birthday instead, which I don't understand even slightly, because, like, she don't know Britt, and, like, I don't think she's aware that Trina and Spencer are going together. Like, maybe she'd think that Spencer was going, but why would she go just because Spencer's going, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. But regardless, the stupid plot point aside, she is aware that Sonny and Nina are going to be at Britt's party, so she tells the bodyguard that Sonny hired to watch her that there's no need to watch her anymore. So she's by herself on the pier getting ready to go to the Haunted Star, and the Hook was lurking around the Haunted Star and spots Jocelyn. And she goes to the docks and goes after her. But and this is what I say in my notes. Don't worry if she gets stabbed. I'm sure Dex will conveniently be around the corner to rescue her. Like he was at pretty much every other stabbing. The friends off screen. Britt and Joss, though? Sonny will come to Sasha's rescue. Yeah, I'm sure he will, but he can't be her guardianship, though, because of his crimes. So, like, how, like, yeah, he'd probably, like, pay off the debt or whatever and, like, put money back on her card, but, like, still, it would leave her vulnerable to a new guardian. Gladys should be held responsible for what she's doing to Sasha's money. Yeah, I agree. For sure, I agree. But I'm just glad that they're tying it to an addiction and not just having her, like, just do it to be shady. Like, control, like, to be too controlling of Sasha for, like, her own need of power. You know what I mean? That's what my initial worry was for the guardianship storyline. Gladys should be Sonny's mother. That'd be weird. We already know that Adele got killed by Sonny's abusive father. Like that's been his whole backstory. And plus, I don't think she's old enough to be Sonny's mother. They're probably like 2 years older than each other. Oh, what else? Okay, let's talk about before we get into Britt's birthday. Let's talk about the return of Andre Maddox. Anna and Valentine are in the Netherlands, still searching for Lucy, and they meet up with Andre, the man I would definitely had preferred be with Anna over Valentine, and I stand by that. But I digress. Since he had ties to Victor in the past, Anna was hoping that he could lead her and Valentine to one of his hideouts to see if he's holding Lucy over there. And he gives them as much info as he can. It was a hideout in Paris, and he was always taken there in a blindfold in the past, so he could only kind of go by the movement of the car and the noises he'd hear around the area. It wasn't much to go on, but it was a start. So, and I know that Andre wanted to join them in like helping them. I don't know if he will. I kind of missed out on that last little bit on whether Anna was like, yeah, come with us or not. Just that she trusts them both. But we'll see. Always thought that Sonny's mother died of suicide. No. They well, we didn't see him as a kid, obviously, but they've shown like bits and pieces of what happened to Adele in like flashbacks and stuff. Sandy Gladys should be ashamed of herself. Poor Sasha, yes. Yeah. Gladys, you can tell Gladys is ashamed of herself. She does clearly feel guilty. But, you know, she loves the game of gambling more and still has that sort of desire to be in with the rich folk, right? And it's causing her this grief. But yeah, I think that she'll be held responsible. I just think that I'm relieved that this is the route they're going and not the route that I potentially thought they would go. They need to bring Andre back. Jordan needs a man. Yeah, you know what? Good point. They could put Jordan back with Andre, because now it's a new actress that is playing Jordan, and so there's not the awkwardness of like the fact that the first Jordan and her were in a relationship at one point. All right, but I guess we'll get into Britt's birthday party. Well, actually, we'll talk about what happened for Elizabeth and Finn first, just because Elizabeth was at the birthday party, and we can kind of get that out of the way and then focus solely on Britt and the people around Britt. But Terry found out at Britt's birthday from Finn that he and Liz broke up, which she's shocked about, because why wouldn't Liz share that with her? And then when Liz showed up there, she's like, anything you want to tell me? Terry was feeling no pain, by the way. She was getting her drink on. She was having a good time. Her boy toy was sick and under the weather, so he wasn't there. But, you know, they're still going strong, apparently, so that's good. What was his name? Johan? Not a Nina person, but she would be good. Sasha as their guardian. She can't do it either, though, because of her crimes. Because, you know, Nina stole a baby and ran off with it, so she can't be a guardian either. I think they established that pretty early on, like both Sonny and Nina can't be her guardian. Let's see. Okay, yeah. Elizabeth also took a drink, or like took a shot in front of Finn, so he was shocked because he didn't know that Elizabeth had a miscarriage. So he like pulls her aside and was like, I don't want to tell you how to live, but like I am concerned because, you know, drinking this early on in your pregnancy could harm the baby. And then she confesses that she had a miscarriage. Just tell him the truth, Liz. Like, honestly, you're just destroying your life for no reason. Not that Finn was like great for her, but like it's pointless. Throwing her damn life under the bus for Esme and Nick. Oh, Yuri, that's his name. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I'd love to see Terry and Yuri have a storyline as well. Because they were cute. I loved them, like, when, after the Quartermain picnic, when they went to the pool at the Metro Court. They were sweet scenes. Oh, well. I mean, I'm glad that Terry is in a relationship, but, like, yeah, I'd like to see more of it. Alright. So, let's get into the week leading up to Britt's birthday, and then, of course, the party itself as well. This Jordan is pretty. I think all the Jordans have been gorgeous. I just think that the current Jordan, there's not a whole lot of emotion there. And that really bothers me. She's so robotic, and I hope that she improves, but it's hard to improve or like have, you know, I don't know, it's hard to see Jordan give emotion when they're not really giving her much story to begin with. Hey, Jacarius. The only GH promo, do you mean like the 60th anniversary one? Because that's the only one I've seen so far. I'm excited. It seems like the GH is going to take the whole year to celebrate the 60th anniversary, which is what my hope was. I just hope that they bring it. Like, I want to see a good year. Because the 50th year was good. Now we're at the 60th. I want to see it just as good. Robot Jordan needs acting classes. Well, like I said, like, actors are always capable of growing. But the thing is, they need material to work with, and they're not really giving Jordan anything. Like, think about Chase, like, where he started, he was pretty robotic himself too, and then they eventually gave him some good stuff with Willow when she realized that Jonah wasn't alive. Hope they cut half of the unnecessary people. I need good storytelling. We've gotten glimpses of it here and there, so we know that they're capable. It's just keeping the consistency of the goodness. Like, it's hard. It like fizzles every now and then. They've got like a lot of like good potential material, especially with the Victor stuff. But beyond that, you know, some stories are kind of flailing in the wind a little bit and falling flat. But they got like a lot of good things that they could just utilize to bring GH to the top again. They've got this Cassadine story that will bring all the veterans to the front again. They've got a power couple in Spencer and Trina, which have such a big fandom. And that, you know, it's been a while since a couple, I think, has been so widely appreciated. Useless Cody should be the first to go. I mean, he you know, I think he's here to stay because he's clearly Mac's child, and he's gonna have to bring that up at some point. Yeah, you know how Frank is. He has his favorites. Yeah, Ron and Frank had their favorites, and they still do. But with that said, I think that they did do a good job with the 50th year, even though they brought in like Todd and Star and whatever else. Like, aside from that, there was some like pretty fun nostalgic things going on the entire time, and they brought back like all these characters that haven't been on GH in years. They brought back Felicia and Frisco and Anna and Robert and Faison and Helena. Like, they brought back a lot of powerhouses onto GH, and they all stuck around for the most part. Some of them were only there for like brief appearances, like Brenda and Jax and who, you know, AJ was only there for about a year, and Duke. But, you know, a lot of them did stick around and are still around. So hopefully, I don't know, same kind of energy, but just tread carefully. The thing about it, Ron Carlivati, his thing is being camp, and camp works for nostalgia. But I don't know. I think that GH can't really use the same formula. Like, it can't be campy again. Because honestly, it doesn't feel like that long ago that we did celebrate the 50th anniversary. It doesn't seem like it was 10 years ago. Oh, you don't like celebrating New Year's because I feel like it's too overrated. I mean, it kind of is in a way, but in some ways, people kind of need that sort of starting point with New Year's as like their clean slate. Let go of the last year and, try again and try to make this year count. And it's a good motivator, if anything. It doesn't always pan out, but, it leads people to start on a good note. Or to try, at least. Let's see. One life to live style character. Yeah, I'm not here for that. I hated seeing that one lifers on GH. I'm not gonna lie. Made me so mad. I was so glad when he got sued. And then they had to usher off the characters. I was like, finally, they can focus on just GH for the 50th anniversary. We got spammers. Oh well. We don't want to see your hot photo. Good lord. Exactly, right, Jake? Like, it doesn't seem like it was 10 years since the 50th anniversary celebration. It feels like it was just a couple years ago, and it's been 10. It's been 10. My god. Trying to figure out why Paramount Plus is glitching. I couldn't tell you. I do not have Paramount Plus. Alright. Okay. But let's finish this off. Let's get into Britt's birthday party, okay? Or everything leading up to it. So she spent the whole week preparing for it, and it really does feel like a final send-off for Kelly Thibault, because the week was filled with everything from emotional moments with people she's close with, comedic moments which we know Kelly thrives in, and a big party where we get to see Britt's wild side come out too. It doesn't seem like forever. Everything is just passing quick. It's true. Everything is passing so fast, Chikarius. But yeah. So first we see Cody stop by Britt's office to just be honest about everything. Why he pursued her, how he blackmailed Spinelli, and why. And that after getting to know her, he wanted to be with her. And he confessed it all in hopes that Britt would give him a second chance. And while Britt really appreciated his honesty, and got really emotional about it, she just told him it can't be so, obviously because of her sickness, but again, she doesn't tell him the truth. We also see Maxie and Brad butting heads, trying to plan Britt's party together, and when she sees that they're at odds, Britt begs them to try and get along, and makes a bit of a slip up and says, I want you to like each other even when I'm gone. And, Maxie and Brad were like, what do you mean? I don't know, and they just kind of let it go. They were like, wow, that was weird, and then just continued planning the party. But yeah, we also see that Britt's announced that she's going on a trip, so that people won't be too suspicious when she disappears after the new year. She actually got Selena to give her fake IDs, fake passport, all that stuff, anything that she can use to disappear. Which she knows Selena would be in favor for, since she didn't want her around Brad in the first place. Oh, Sandy, you think that Britt will save Joss? It's possible. I hope that, and think that she might get hooked instead. God, I hope not. But, Kelly is moving. I just don't want, what a tragic, and if that happens, oh my gosh. I'd be so sad about it. I really don't want to think about that, to be honest, Sandy. Oh no. All right, but let's back up a little bit. Okay. Liesel finds out that Britt is going on a trip after the new year, and they have a beautiful mother-daughter moment where you can tell that even the actresses were getting emotional over it. I mean, Kathleen Gotti and Kelly Thibault play so well off of each other, and it's crazy because like Liesel is so like extra, and you know, the accent and everything, and Britt is so like put together considering who raised her. But they both have grown as people over the years, and I think that they probably brought out the best in each other because of that, or you know, as a result of that. If Britt gets hooked, child, I'm riding. I would too. I don't want them to kill Britt. Leave her exit open-ended, okay? Like, let her get a miracle or something. Yeah, I want them to leave the door open for Britt to come back in the future. Yeah, so do I. I really do. Okay, but let's talk about the party itself, because the party was lit, y'all. We are treated to everything from a drag queen host to Chippendale waiters to a dance party and karaoke and an emotional slideshow with lots of pictures of Kelly as a child. They used her actual childhood photos. And Kelly done glowed up, right? Alright, you have a good night, Jacarius. See you next time. Let's see. Oh yeah, what else did I say? Okay. So yeah, they showed a slideshow of Kelly as a child and growing up, and then behind the scene photos with at GH with her castmates, and like weird videos of Britt and Maxie and Brad running around that they kind of like threw in there, which I was like, I don't know, I was kind of cringing at that, but whatever. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little disappointed that Epiphany didn't attend the party, because at the time that they were shooting this, of course, Sonia was still with us. But at least she was featured in the slideshow. And Britt got to make her first birthday wish too. I'm not sure what she wished for, but I'd hope it was for a miraculous recovery and that it was a magical cake. I should mention that there were moments at the party where her Huntington's disease was kind of acting up. Her hands were shaking and she couldn't hold the gift for very long, and she was short of breath and couldn't blow out all of her candles. It was heartbreaking seeing how emotional she was. And the only people in attendance that really know why are Austin and Nina and Sunny and Liesel and Scott. And Austin tries to tell her that she doesn't have to leave, but in the end she does slip out right at midnight. We know that she's not out of Port Charles yet because she was in the previews, and you know, like you're predicting, like she could be around the docks when Joss is attacked. And I'm hoping you're wrong, Sandy. I hope that she doesn't get hooked instead. Spencer and Trina were so cute. Yeah, they had a little moment when during the countdown, or like right after the countdown, where they're kind of like leaning in close, but instead of kissing, Spencer just blows the like little, what do you call those? Those little blow horns that you have at parties for New Year's. That was cute. But yeah, GH struck gold with those two, and it's crazy because, you know, Sprina started with Sydney, and now it's Tabiana, and they're still so well received, just as well received, I think. So I don't know. It's a rare thing, and GH needs to take advantage of that for sure and ride that wave. It would have been nice to see Epiphany sing one last time. I know. Oh my goodness. I'm so mad. They didn't even show Liesel singing, by the way. I forget if I mentioned the karaoke. We got to see Brad and Britt do karaoke, and it was auto-tuned to shit, but it was still fun to watch. And expressing Trina's too boring. Well, most people disagree with you, including myself. I'm a Sabrina fan. I'm rooting for them. But anyway, I agree to disagree. What was I gonna say? Yeah, we got to see Brad and Britt do karaoke, but Liesl's performance happened off screen? Are you joking? I was getting so stoked to see Liesl perform again, because she was like, this number I did at the nurses ball once, so I'm thinking like that time that she did like welcome, or what is it, welcome and bienvenue, like that song. I was like so down to see her perform that again. I was so mad, and I would have loved to see Epiphany perform too. Even those little videos. See, like, don't get me wrong, I think that it was sweet. It's just that, like, the videos of Brad, Maxie, and Britt running around, like, it seemed so last second, and they just kept on showing it, like, over and over again, like, the same day, and, like, them running around and having fun. Like, it just seemed weird. Disney won't pay for it. They did before! They can still, I mean, it's only been 10 years. They might still have the rights for that song. But also, they could just have her sing a different song that they do have the rights for. But, you know, that song that they did sing, like Britt and Brad, it's an oldie but a goldie, right? So, that might have broke the bank a little bit. But I'm hoping, you know what, like, I feel like GH got a lot of money for the 50th anniversary, like, or a bigger budget in honor of the 50th anniversary for that year at least. And I'm hoping that they kind of up the budget a little bit for the 60th as well. Because, you know, the 50th year, we got the Nurses Ball back. And so, like, they had to, like, get the rights of all these songs. And they brought back, like, every actor that's probably, you know, getting paid out the ass because they're such legends. And they had Rick Springfield perform. Like, I mean, I know he played Noah Drake, but he was playing himself in that moment as well as Noah Drake. And then they just kind of, like, mentioned Eli Love. Don't be shocked if Emma turns out to be Spencer's soulmate instead. I don't know. I feel like GH knows what they have in Spencer and Trina. And I'm hoping, because, like, clearly, like, did y'all see, like, fans went outside of the GH studios and, like, flew a plane for them? You know what I mean? Like, and even Maurice mentioned when he interviewed Tabiana on his show that the reception that they're getting is, like, something that does not happen often. And, like, she got really lucky. So even Maurice, who's been on the show for 30 years, has seen it. But yeah. And I don't know, like, it's hard to see Emma coming back, even if they recast her and age her, because, like, it'd be weird to have Emma in Port Charles while, like, her mom and dad are in LA. Even though she'd be an adult at that point, like, she's not gonna leave LA to go to PCU. You know what I mean? Like, why would she? Like, yeah, she could move in with Anna, but, like, I just don't see it happening. Yeah, Dr. O does have a nice voice. I can't remember if Kathleen Gotti also has, like, musical background. Like, she could so do Broadway. And Sonia, you know, like, she does have a good voice too. I don't think she's perfect, but she does have a nice voice. May she rest. But you know damn well, like, once the writers write in the character's death and the actress, I think that we're definitely gonna hear her voice one more time. You know, they've got her in endless recordings singing, and we're gonna hear her voice over a montage, I'm sure. And even though Epiphany's character was pretty minor, she's been around long enough to have had moments with so many cast members, and I think that they're going to utilize that. I think a beautiful way, and maybe sort of even, you know what I'm going to predict actually. I think that whatever they initially had planned for April 1st, because they always do like a one-off episode that celebrates GH. I think that they are gonna make Epiphany the centerfold of that episode, because it does give the writers enough time to do that, and write the character off and sort of have her death kind of be revealed in the spring, and lead up to it. That's my hope anyway. It makes sense to me that they would do it, because just hearing the overall praise that Sonia Eddy got from the cast and crew, you could tell that they all loved her, including Frank, who seemed just as devastated as well. And I think that they are going to send the character off as beautifully as they possibly can, because it was so sudden, and like she did have like a story that was happening, like they can't not do it. But yeah, I'm starting to think that like my hope for seeing Sonia one last time before GH catches up to present day probably isn't gonna happen, which is annoying, because like it's been a while since she took the test and we didn't see the result, and they haven't announced that we will see her again at least once. So disappointing, man. All right, guys. But that's all my notes on the recap for GH this week. As you guys know, as we talked about at the beginning, there's no GH tomorrow. It'll be back Tuesday. Wednesday for the live stream. I think we're just gonna make it a bit of a GH hangout sesh, so we can just kind of discuss what we want to happen for the 60th year, predictions, what couples we want to see, all the good stuff. We'll just chit chat and hang out, and then we'll resume reacting to classic GH the following week. But yeah, we'll hang out on Wednesday, talk about GH, and just chit chat. And then, yeah, it'll be fun. So join me for that. I hope you guys join me. Thanks for watching, everyone. Really appreciated it. I hope you guys had a happy new year, and overall happy holidays. Don't burn out too hard. I know we're all like, some of y'all are just going back to work tomorrow or the next day. Ease into the new year, you guys. I know everyone kind of wants to hit the ground running, but like, we all have goals we want to achieve, I'm sure. But one step at a time. Do not try to do everything all at once. Otherwise, you're going to burn out and you're going to fizzle before you get any of those things done. One step at a time, one goal at a time. Focus on one goal. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. If you liked the live stream, give it a big old thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to. I'd really appreciate it. And I will catch you guys this Wednesday and again on Sunday for the next General Hospital After Show. Peace out. Good night, guys. Mwah. Bye. Mwah.